Rumor has it you like to cook.
I do.
Are you a Food Network junkie? Do you watch any of that?
Sometimes, but I don't really have time to watch too much TV.
Would you ever be on Chopped if they did like a country music or?
Absolutely, I think that would be a blast.
Be cool.
I've got many recipes online that I've done and stuff underneath the albums folder of my Facebook.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
And in fact, this past weekend, my guitar player and I, Josh, we got in the kitchen. We had a Cajun day, and I made a crawfish bisque, and he made gumbo. Everybody was going back and forth on which one was the best, but it was two different things, two different flavors.
Yeah.
I always have fun doing stuff like that. No recipes. I just come up with it on my own.
Really? That's awesome. Do you bake too, or mainly cook?
No, it's me and I can't cook cakes.
Okay.
That stuff, I always mess them up.
Okay.
Because I'm one of those guys that like to just throw the ingredients in and see what I get from it.
Right.
And you can't do that with baking.
Gotcha. What got you into it? What made you?
I don't know. It was something, basically probably out of necessity. When I was a teenager, I was living with my dad, and he wasn't cooking, so I had to.
Yeah, he probably didn't know how to boil water if he was like mine.
Right. No, he attempted to cook, though. But I took it a little further. So,
were you raised by a single dad?
No,
okay.
I was, but my parents were divorced when I was young.
Okay. I was just curious. Now, I hear you got your first guitar when you were 4.
That is right.
Who gave it to you?
My dad. Actually, it was a mandolin.
Oh, okay.
And, he pulled off 4 of the strings on there and made it a 4-string, and that's what he taught me to play rhythm on.
Oh, that's really cool. Mm-hmm. So he did most of your guitar teaching when you were younger?
Yeah, any lessons and stuff that I had was all him.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Was he in the business?
Yes, in fact, he still plays. He has a band that travels in East Texas playing honky tonks every weekend.
Oh, wow. That's very cool. Did you have a little garage band, so to speak, back when you were in junior high school?
I've had groups together since I was 7, 8 years old, singing in trios with my sister and an older friend of ours. Her name was Tanis. We used to sing at church camps and stuff like that all the time.
Very cool.
And then I put together a little bluegrass band when I was younger, like in freshman year of high school. And then while I was in high school, I had another vocal group at school that we went around and sang at churches and stuff like that.
Do you play anything besides the guitar?
I play a lot of different things. I play most of the woodwind instruments, trumpet, trombone, then pretty much anything with strings. Any instrument I could get my hands on, I'd sit down and try to figure it out.
That's interesting. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
So were you in like marching band and stuff like that?
I was in band. I was in orchestra. I didn't play any sports.
No sports?
No sports at all.
Do you like sports?
I do. In fact, I'm playing the celebrity softball tournament for CMA Fest this year.
Oh, sweet!
Yeah.
Who's on your team?
I believe Brett Michaels is on there, and some buddies of mine, Locash.
Very cool. Sounds awesome. So, do you have any other hidden talents?
I don't know. I kind of throw it all out there. So, I can't dance worth a flip. I can swing around the dance floor just a little bit, but that's about it.
That's awesome.
I'm from Texas. You got to be able to dance a little bit.
That was one of the fan questions.
Oh, there you go.
Do you dance, Craig? That's awesome. See, I would think, being from Texas, you would at least get out there and
that's a requirement.
Yeah.
But I don't consider that all the fancy fast 3 steps and stuff like that.
Right.
And don't ask me to line dance. I can't.
Can't line dance?
I can't figure that stuff out for the life of me.
I can't figure out how they all know what the first person does. They change it up and they're like, oh, I know that, and go do it.
Yeah, not for me.
What type of music did you listen to growing up?
I listened to a lot of jazz and gospel music.
Okay.
My dad was a bluegrass player, so of course I learned a lot of those old songs, the Pig in the Pen, and using my Bible for a roadmap and stuff like that was standards in bluegrass. And then I would sneak over to my grandma's house. My grandma was the one that had all of the country albums. She had every album that Johnny Cash ever put out, Merle Haggard,
cool.
and I remember I loved the old. Well, she had a lot of the stuff like Floyd Kramer, that was the piano player. And me being a musician first and foremost, I listened to a lot of the Floyd Kramer and Charlie McCoy, who was a harp player. And and who else was it? Boots Randolph, saxophone player. That was huge to me. That was some of the early influences in the musical side of things.
Right. That's very cool. I read in your bio that after your first trip to Nashville, it brought life-changing events. What happened there?
Well, you're going to have to get the book that I got coming out here in June.
Oh, you do have a book?
Yes.
I did not know that.
I am part of a series called The Change.
Really?
With Jim Lutz, and it's a motivational book.
Oh, very cool.
I'm very excited about that.
Oh.
So, diving in real heavy in the story of what was going on there, I'd love for you guys to pick that up and check it out.
Absolutely. A lot has happened to you since you auditioned for The Voice.
Mm-hmm.
Other than winning The Voice, what are some of the memorable?
Oh my goodness, the list we would be here all night because it seemed like just about every other day something crazy was going on. I got to sing the national anthem in front of over, I guess they said televised was over 1 billion people because it was for the National Downhill Skiing Championships last year, and that was aired all over the world. I think 97 different countries or so that it was in, and I sang the national anthem for the United States.
Did that enter your mind while you were standing there getting ready to sing it? Oh my gosh.
I didn't realize exactly. I mean, there was, tens of thousands of people in front of me when I sang it.
Right.
So I was, more concentrated on that, and they had this big bald eagle behind me that I was scared was going to hop on my head. And right when I said the land of the free, the flag starts flying and the eagle spreads its wings, and it wasn't anything that was planned. It just happened like that.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
And I have that picture mounted on my wall at home. That was one of the most memorable times for me.
Is that available to see? Do you have it posted on your Facebook?
I don't. I probably should.
You should post it. That sounds pretty awesome.
That's one of the many. Of course, playing the Grand Ole Opry for the very first time was amazing.
Oh, I bet.
And now I've since gotten to play it another 15 or 16 times since then.
That's cool.
And I feel very honored and privileged every time they call me to come up there and play. That's something that I learned respect for country music at a younger age with my grandmother. And I'll go back to a story when I first moved to Nashville. My grandmother, I was able to bring her out to Nashville. And I took her to the Grand Ole Opry to do the tour the very first time, my first time to walk in the doors. And as we were going through the backstage areas and stuff, she had more stories than even the tour guide did. So she ended up running the whole tour.
That's
and
awesome.
Telling all the stories of every artist, even though she had not seen a lot of them in person. She had just been such a lover of country music that she knew all of these stories and all of the background of all the artists that were on the album.
Is she still here?
She is. She's still. She's not doing as well, and she's in a home in Texas.
Oh, that's hard.
But she knows exactly what's going on with me.
That's awesome.
Which is awesome.
I love it. Well, our Grand Ole Opry is Red Rocks, so we want you to come play Red Rocks.
Yes.
Have you been up to visit it at all?
I haven't. That's one of those places, just like the Grand Ole Opry. I never went to go see a show there until I played it.
I've heard that. Yeah.
And I guess because I know of Red Rocks, and it's a very spiritual place.
It is.
As the Grand Ole Opry is for, and I think that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold out until I have the opportunity to play there and take the experience in all at once.
Well, I'll be there with you. Do you journal? And is that where some of your songwriting starts with?
I used to journal. Things have went so fast, and people tell me that because of all the things that have went on, especially over this past year and a half or two, I should be journaling, and I haven't. That's shame on me. But I've been able to go back and recall a lot of things, and we're in the day of social media now, so everything is social media is my journal.
That's very true. How old is Dakota?
Dakota is almost she's almost 4 months.
She's precious. Yes. Did she get to come on the road with you, or? She
got to go take her first trip with me a few weeks ago.
Okay. So it's
so
probably
really cool.
Real hard being away right now.
Absolutely, but Mom sends me videos, so that's good. That always helps out. Again, the modern era of technology helps out tremendously.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. What was the hardest or most challenging thing about The Voice?
I think one of the most challenging things was fighting myself. Realizing that I did have the ability to go out there and, that's really the only thing that was in my control, was doing my best every single time. And that's what I tried to stay focused on. And I think that's the hardest thing, is not to get in your own head.
I can see that. Do you still talk to Blake at all? Does he give you any with your album, working on that?
He helped me out tremendously on the business side of things.
Okay.
Helping me choose and pick the right people to run the behind the scenes.
That's awesome. That's a big help.
And that's probably more helpful than anything.
Right. Now, I should know this, but I kind of saw two conflicting things. Who were you signed with?
That's being announced officially next week.
Maybe that's why I couldn't quite find it.
That's why you haven't found it out yet.
It looks like this.
There's been some hints put out there, and we're already working very hard, but just the news cycles haven't lined up for us to be able to put it out yet.
Okay.
In fact, I just got off the phone talking about it. They were like, "Can we do it today?" And I was like, "No."
That's a great tease.
Right now.
You can do it tonight for us.
We were talking about it, and I was like, yesterday we changed, or Taylor and I were sitting up in the morning, and she was like, "I haven't changed my status on my Facebook yet. I haven't changed my name yet." She was like, "Well, probably should." Like, yeah, why not? And little did we know that was going to blow up everywhere. And today has been a crazy day of,
I bet.
TMZ, extra, of course, all the country outlets, even the Daily Mail in Europe has put it out.
How do you keep your head focused with all that craziness?
It is what it is. I'm always me. I put my jeans on just like anybody else does.
Right.
I look in the mirror and I see somebody different than what anybody else does. I see the short-haired kid with glasses that was in high school. That's
true. But it shows in your music. You're very humble, and it comes out in your music.
Well, you're very kind.
When is your CD supposed to drop? Is it a full CD or an EP?
Well, the album is officially finished.
Okay.
So we're going to be looking at dropping a single very, very soon after the announcement of the label.
Which one?
Can't tell you that either. Good try, though.
I listened to 4 of the songs, and I don't remember all the names, but the Hella Band? I wrote it down somewhere, but...
Yeah, that's Hellbent. It's one of them that's on
I love that. Did it make it?
You will see.
You can't tell me that either. Oh, you're so full of secrets. How about a couple quick kills? What would we find on your iPod?
Right now, I've been listening to mixing between Chris Stapleton, some Justin Timberlake. I love his new album, and my co-producer of my album produced a girl named Jill Scott, who's an R&B singer.
Oh, really?
And I've just fallen in love with that album too.
Very cool. Who produced your?
His name is Aaron Pierce.
Okay.
He's produced the likes of Beyonce, Backstreet Boys, even oh my goodness, Jennifer Lopez.
Awesome.
And then Lauren Elena, Scotty McCurry.
Sweet.
And he and I we grew up playing music together.
Really?
We've known each other since we were 15, 16 years old. So it was cool to get back in the studio with him and just have fun.
I bet. That's kind of cool.
We have a like mind when it comes to music.
Well, there's just a connection from being together back then. Your favorite song when you feel like crap and you want to pick me up?
I usually listen to sad songs.
Okay.
Merle Haggard.
Okay.
Here I Go Again. Mixing Misery and Gin. Probably one of the most motivational songs for me is Footlights. And I know Merle Haggard was one that put that out first, but Joe Nichols' version of it to me is like one of the best versions of it.
Awesome.
And that's one that I listen to at least once or twice a week.
Really? Very cool. Favorite book?
Well, it's going to be The Change now.
yeah, now that you say that. I'm very excited to read that, actually. I do a lot of classes on that type of stuff for my day job. So, favorite TV show? You probably don't have one because you don't watch much TV.
I have been recording Game of Thrones.
Okay.
So that I can get to watch that. I got sucked in on that.
Have you ever watched The Arrow?
I haven't.
You should start that from the beginning. That's pretty good. I think you'd like that.
Game of Thrones is one, and I got kind of hooked into this show, Billions. It's really interesting.
Really?
It's growing up, I was kind of a smart kid, I guess, because I was an honor roll student in AP classes and all that fun stuff. And I always thought that I was going to go into politics or into be an attorney or something of the sort. Crazy enough, I'm doing that, but that's why that stuff interests me. I get kind of...
I'll have to check that out. Well, I'm glad you chose your career over politics. I might not like you if you were a politician. Favorite comedy movie?
Oh my goodness. You know what I watched recently I thought was hilarious was You've Got Mail, because it's kind of a comedy. It's a comedy side to it, but it's hilarious.
Favorite superhero or cartoon?
I mean, come on, Thor. That's what I get the most.
Favorite color?
Red.
Red. I would have guessed black. I don't know why. I guess I see you in black sometimes.
Yes.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Awesome. Now these are the questions we got from your Y'allers. How'd that name come about for your fan club, Y'allers?
You want her to fill in?
Oh yeah, I probably should. Huh? That one's got me. So how'd you get Y'allers for your fan club?
It's crazy as this sounds. I was, oh my goodness, it's been probably 5-6 years ago. I, late one night, was trying to figure out how to set up my voicemail, and the lady comes on there and says, "State your name." And I was like, "Craig Wayne Boyd, y'all." Not even realizing that I had said that. And later on, I walked in to see some friends a few weeks later, and they're like, "It's Craig Wayne Boyd, y'all." I'm like, where did you guys come up with this? It's like, have you listened to your voicemail? And so that's where the y'all came from. And then while I was on The Voice, people had, I've seen different people have different things, statements for their fan clubs, and I was like, it's got to be the Y'allers. I mean, to me, that works the best. So
I love it.
That's where it came from.
You have some crazy, amazing fans.
They are best fans ever.
We had so much positive interaction from one post just with the questions. They were a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. So we'll ask some of their questions. Debbie Hecox asked if you've had a lot of Holly Wow and Pinch Me moments. Does one stand out?
Well, I've named a few of those already. I think getting to go back on The Voice and perform and being invited to red carpet events and things like that is something I've never even thought was imaginable. So all of those moments are pretty wild.
That's awesome. Kimberly Hughes Graves asked, one of the greatest joys... Oh, well, she had a statement first. One of the greatest joys will be hearing Craig on a regular basis on the radio. The fans want it and he deserves it. My question is, what is your favorite type of song to write and sing? Ballads, blues, or love songs? You do all the above with such class.
Exactly. I love them all. I can't say that I pick one above another because it depends on what kind of mood I'm in.
Makes sense. Kim Parker asked, what pre-show rituals do you have?
I usually get everything quiet around me. It's like the calm before the storm.
Susan Roth Craig asked, can you dance? We got that answered. Lisa Faith Langston Bragg asked, if you could play a live tour with any artist, who would it be and why?
Oh my goodness, there's so many great artists out there right now.
It's a tough question.
And there's a lot of legends out there, so I almost have to break it up into two parts. On the legendary side, there's very few of those guys left at this point. And some of the older legends are the ones that have influenced me the most.
Right.
They're just now getting to the legendary status. I want to make sure that I state that because it would be Travis Tritt.
Awesome.
And then newer artists, I'm getting to do some of those already.
Right.
I'm so excited to be able to announce some of the new shows with Jamie Johnson. I've always been a fan of his and a friend. And Randy Houser is another one of those guys that I look forward to working with again, coming up soon.
Were you at his wedding?
I was not. I was actually out on the road.
Gotcha. Cindy Wilder Borland asked, if you could do a duet with a female artist, who would it be?
One of my favorite female voices in country music right now, so far as just being a great singer, is Carrie Underwood.
That'd be awesome.
I think it would be wonderful to get the opportunity to sing with her because she sings with such power and passion, and I feel like that our voices would mix well.
That would be beautiful, actually. Nancy Otis asked, what is the strangest thing that ever happened to you while you were performing?
A few things that I probably can't mention.
No surprise.
Excuse me, that would be minus some clothes. It was very strange. But yeah, there's been a lot of those crazy moments. But I don't know, walking out and having guitars not work and you just have to hand it off and just keep going.
Right.
Things like that are always awkward. One of the coolest moments, I would say, is, and I just mentioned his name, was Randy Houser. I had my homecoming during the Voice, and I had no clue that he was showing up, and I kick off a song, and all of a sudden this voice starts talking, and I'm like, is something wrong with my ears? And I turn around, and there he is.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that was such a really cool and special moment.
That's very cool. Sue Miller asked, what is one thing you want most from your fans?
Just to continue supporting me. They give me so much love, and their passion is amazing. And I try to, that draws it out of me.
Awesome. Cheryl Daigle asked, or said, excited to see you for the 4th time next month in Seattle. And she understands with your schedule, you do a lot of traveling, but if you could travel anywhere for vacation, where would you choose?
I've been wanting to go overseas. I want to go to Scotland. Because I've been able to trace my roots back to there. I think that would be a blast.
How far back are your roots?
I've been able to find them back into 3 digits.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
that's very cool.
Ancestry.com, so it's been cool, really cool.
That's very cool. That's one of the questions that your wife talked about last
There you go.
Yeah. Wanda Bradley asked, what does the remaining part of the year bring to you and the fans? Lots.
A whole lot. You thought last year was crazy, this year's going to be even crazier.
Awesome. It's going to make a lot of people happy. Linda Stover Brewer asked, I get to see you for the first time next month in my hometown of Texas. What about your roots being from Texas means the most to you?
The one thing that I can always say is that I'm from Texas, and that's the coolest thing ever. I mean, to me, that's always my home.
What part?
I'm from Mesquite, Texas.
Okay. New Jersey Yallers asked, out of all of your mind-blowing songs, is there one you would call your favorite?
Oh, that's hard to say because there's so many that have been my favorites, and then I write a new one and it's my favorite.
That's cool. B. Alexander asks, since winning The Voice, how have you been able to handle the success and remain so down to earth?
Again, just looking in the mirror, and I see somebody different than anybody else does. And I always try to keep that in mind.
That's a very good way to put it. Stephen Bramley asked, if you knew you were going to be stranded on an island, what's the one thing you would take?
I would take a machine that could turn salt water into fresh water.
There you go.
Maybe I can stay alive until they find me.
And we have one special question from Taylor Boyd. What is your best dad joke?
Oh my goodness. She would ask that. She thinks all my jokes are dad jokes. That's it.
That's it. That works. Would you like to draw 2 names out?
Yeah, I can do that. Let's see. I'm not peeking. Let's see.
And you can read them.
Let's see what we got. I don't know that that's fair. Cindy Borland. That's my mother-in-law.
I wonder that. I almost didn't put her in, but...
And Sue Miller.
That works. I almost didn't put your mother-in-law in, but I thought that wouldn't be fair, so I put her in. You can draw another one, though. I didn't put your wife in.
We'll have this. So I have Sue Miller, and we got Lori Brewer.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Cool. Is there anything you want to tell us? You know, you always, in interviews, you always talk about what people want you to talk about. Anything you want to tell us? Anything you want to talk about?
Just be patient with me and stay tuned because I promise you, this year is going to be crazier than last year.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much
Appreciate your
for the time.
Looking forward to the show tonight.
Awesome. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.